Bonjour mes amis, thank you for watching this video of how to construct the Eyefull Tower from Plantscape. Please listen carefully, I will say this only once. You will need 3,000 steel girders, 2 million rivets and 400 skilled engineers.
No. This is the Eyefull Flower Tower from Plantscape. It's a floral display, not a landmark in Paris. For this structure, assembly is very straightforward, and the only tools you'll need are a 13mm socket, a 6mm Allen key, and a 3/16 Allen key. Here's what your tower will look like once it's finished. But first, let's take a look at the components. You have a round base, a metal base plate, a large, a medium, and a small basket. 3 columns to support the baskets, a top hat, and of course, all the nuts and bolts to put it all together. First of all, tip the base on its side. Secure the metal plate using 4 bolts. Please be careful not to over-tighten these. Then carefully stand the base upright again, and we're ready to start building. Firstly, take one of the columns and carefully fit this onto the center of the base. The column is fitted with a pair of locating pins which slot into the 2 holes in the base. This will ensure that the 4 screw holes in the column line up with the nuts molded into the base. Secure the column to the base with 4 Allen key cap head bolts and washers. When they're all in place, tighten them with a 6mm Allen key, but please be careful not to over-tighten them. Next, fit a column to the largest of the 3 baskets. All of the columns are the same, so it doesn't matter which one you choose. Just as before, secure the column to the basket using 4 Allen key cap head bolts with washers. Again, please be careful not to over-tighten the bolts. Now fit a column to the medium-sized basket in exactly the same way. You find it easier to assemble the baskets on the floor rather than trying to do this at height. Again, attach this one with 4 Allen key cap head bolts with washers and tighten down with that 6mm Allen key, being careful not to overdo it. Now fit the top hat moulding to the smallest basket. Line up the holes with the moulded in nuts and fix this in place with 4 regular bolts and washers. Again, screw these in finger tight so that the holes can be realigned if necessary, before tightening down with a 13mm socket, being careful not to use excessive force. Now all 3 baskets are prepared and ready to fit. At this point, compost and plants can be added and grown on in the nursery for easy transportation and assembly on site. Lift the larger basket into place, making sure that those 2 locating pins drop into the sockets in the bottom of the basket to line up the screw holes. Then bolt the basket onto the column using 4 Allen key cap head bolts with the washers provided. Tighten these with a 6mm Allen key, again being careful not to use too much torque. The Eyefull Tower is now 2 meters high, so it's time to put a sturdy pair of ladders each side to lift the medium-sized basket and its column into place. The medium-sized basket is secured in position in exactly the same way as before, using 4 Allen key cap head bolts with washers, tightened but not stripped. Finally, it's time to lift the smallest of the floral baskets into place at the top of the Eyefull Tower. Follow previous procedures to line up and locate the pins in the sockets, and attach with Allen key cap head bolts and washers. You will notice the fill holes for water conveniently situated on the sides of the tiered baskets and at the top of the base. You can fill each individually, or simply place your watering lance in the top basket and let the patented Plantscape water weir system take over. Once the top reservoir is full with water, it will cascade down and fill each tier and finally the base. There's an overflow hole on the base to give the correct fill level for the water, and drain plugs at the bottom which should be tightened carefully before adding water. And there it is, a masterpiece of construction. Gustav Eiffel would have been proud of this one. All that now remains is to fill it with flowers to provide a spectacular display all summer long.